seeing the growth of Hyrox, I wanted to jump on being the only affiliate in the area. We run a 3-day-a-week program.
On this week's episode of the Fitness Marketing Agency podcast, we have gym owner Trent Smith. How do you integrate it to people that don't even know what Hyrox is?
I have a passion for coaching, helping people, working with people, and I get energy off people. It is probably, I believe, the best Hyrox program that you could possibly do at the moment. It's my bread and butter. Someone's never going to give the 120% that I give.
Let's talk about your sales process.
It was quite easy. I think I was 95% conversion rate. Boxing for England. I laced up my first pair of boxing gloves and never looked back. Biggest mistake is doing.
Let's jump into this episode. Trent, welcome to the Fitness Marketing Agency podcast. Can you tell everyone who's watching this on YouTube or listening on other platforms a little bit about the business you have right now?
Yeah, so I run a semi-private personal training facility in Worcester. It's called the TSC Centre, and we're currently sort of moving into also this Hyrox scene that everyone's sort of going into, and but we predominantly specialise in small group personal training. We serve members sort of at any age, ability, starting point, demographic, and we sort of market out to sort of the 25 to 40s, but generally you find you always get the other side of each sort of the demographic that you go for, you get either side of that, but that's sort of who we market towards. But we're growing. It's been 3 years now, well, 3 years, April the 12th I should say actually, 3 years as through business. We've just recently expanded and moved into sort of a 4,000 square foot gym, so about 6 months ago now it is. And we're now looking to grow into that facility. The facility before, sort of just starting out at the FMA, we didn't have much room to really maximise you guys, and you guys really helped me grow from where I was, and I don't think it would have been possible to go into the new facility without you guys, but I think with being able to take that sort of next step in the business and now have somewhere to grow into, we are really sort of making moves and being able to grow into that facility.
How many clients are you at?
So we're at 172 at the moment.
And what's the rough price point?
Price point is between average yield, or do you think you want average yield? Or
yeah, sure.
Yeah, average yield is 149, so per customer. So we're doing okay and we're breaking.
And then the model's semi-private, but how many coaches to client ratio?
Closest coaches to client ratio is 1 to 45, 1 to 50, I'd say. Oh, in the small group PT sessions,
yes.
I mean, oh, okay, sorry, I thought you meant how many do they look after? So it's 1 to, well, we this is a tricky one actually, because when we first opened, it was 1 to 6 and it was just after COVID. It was me running everything in the facility. In terms of me running everything, it was, you obviously had to be 2 meters away. We had everything marked out. I ran 6, 7, 8, 9:30, 5, 6, 7 in the evening, back to back basically. All the other operations of running the business. And then when we were able, lockdown release could open up a bit more, I then employed my first member of staff, and then we moved into the second side of the gym where we ran like a punch class and then small group PT. So boxing was like my background. With the small group PT, I pushed it to 8 to 1. And now we've gone into the new facility. We've actually just had a change of things and gone back to the 6 to 1 model. Now we've got space and being able to sort of work with that 6 to 1 model, which is a much better model for small group personal training.
And you still have the class functionality of your offering? Or?
Yeah, so we still have large group classes as well. So we have a class called Hustle. We do Hyrox, and then we have Punch as well. So we do a few different sort of conditioning classes, I should say.
Just talk me through the team.
Team training. So
the team members.
The team members, yeah. So I have a head coach, I have senior coach. I don't have a lead coach yet, but I do have a junior coach, which is a female. Recently just employed her, and then now we've just taken on a head of creative, which for me has, I would say, over the last 3.5 weeks, has really leveled up our marketing, our creatives, and what we do as a facility, and bringing ideas to the team. And it's quite a cool idea that he brought around sort of the Easter idea, and you guys helped him bring that idea in with what you guys thought about sort of the referral scheme and the referral campaign. But then he's put like a little twist onto that, and how we can actually go out into our market and go out into the city centre and actually try and get some members out of them.
Nice. And you've gone from delivering all the sessions, doing every function of the business. What's your role sort of as we speak today?
It's difficult because I'm in the position where I'm slowly getting into being sort of running operations, making the bigger choices, the decisions, and kind of coming away from the gym floor. But I've always said to myself, I never fully want to lose that touch, because getting into the fitness industry and the fitness world, I have a passion for coaching, helping people, working with people, and I get energy off people. But now I'm in that position where for me to be able to move the business into the next stage and where we want to go, then I need to start to pull myself away from the gym floor and free up hours, because as you know, wearing every hat only leads to potential mental breakdowns when you're trying to run everything in chaos and you're just trying to get it all together.
I think everyone's had that dilemma where you just love the coaching element, but you also know that your time is sucked and needed elsewhere, and you want to have one foot on the floor and one foot on the rest of the business. It's a right tangle. I think every business owner's been through that. So you've built a very strong community. What steps have you done to make sure that it continues to thrive?
Yeah, so with the community itself, we run different socials throughout the year. So we run a summer social, we run Christmas party, end of year awards. We're currently actually launching our Easter little social. So we'll do that Easter hunt in the gym, which is going to create a nice little environment. And then that evening, we're going to get people to meet us at a bar or somewhere in Worcester. We're going to release that on Friday and let the members know what we're going to be doing. We've run rounders competitions. We've done a hike, a 24-hour hike. So 2 members got diagnosed with lymphoma cancer, and we decided to raise money for it as a gym and doing a 24-hour 3 peaks challenge. There was 18 of us that got on a minibus and went and done it, and 4 of us completed it. The others just fell a little bit short in terms of the time, just because of the minibus, you can't maximise the drive, and in terms of it only goes a set speed, so 60 miles an hour, so you're having to drive very far away and having to do that. So that was a great community building thing. I've done a couple of 24-hour challenges myself where the community's come together to support that. We also, people with their birthdays, they'll invite members on the weekend. I think there was about 16 of them that all went out together for one of the members' birthdays. We also run seminars in-house. We run Hyrox simulations. And then ultimately, first and foremost, is we have our rules on the wall and the gym on the way in, and it's some of them are outlined in terms of egos, leave that at the door, supportive, making sure people are feeling inclusive, welcome when they come through the facility. Obviously helps drive that ethos and what we're trying to do in our facility, where it's full of like-minded people that are supportive, encouraging, motivating, and everyone, I can almost guarantee, of my members, that they've all bought into that philosophy and what we're trying to do with our facility in Worcester. So, and
you install it in them, and the community
I install it in them.
Self-grows.
And it's just sort of grown from there. And I can almost, hand on heart, say that we've probably got the best community in Worcester, and there's probably a community to be a part of. We have a lovely relationship with some different businesses. So there's actually a coffee shop called Good Roots that we have a lovely relationship. We have a couple of other businesses that members get discount from, and then also with Good Roots, we're actually now starting a run club with them. So we have every summer with them, we do a run club, but now we've kind of gone into it, and actually, funny enough, the guys over here, Madison's and the coffee shop,
Minka.
Yeah, I seen a little card, the run club card on the side, and I was like, oh my God, we literally just had a meeting with the guy who is Good Roots to be able to do this this idea and have it
just
on
to give
his
context
tables.
to everyone. So fitness marketing agency office is in Haywards Heath. Yeah. Next door is Minka Coffee Shop and Madison's Gym, which is owned by Jerome, and they have good turnout for their run clubs, and big community element there. Let's shift to Hyrox. You mentioned it a few times.
Yeah.
You've had great achievements in it yourself. So let's talk about that first, and then let's talk about how you've integrated Hyrox into your business.
Yeah, so probably the best achievement that I've had is obviously winning a few Hyroxes myself, coming second in a couple of them. So this is paired. As an individual, I only done one individual race for the first ever one I've done. It's something I advise a lot of people to do first and foremost, is do a solo first. Because when you do a pairs, you're never going to probably go back to doing a solo again, because it's still tough. And I personally like a paired race just because it's a complete different race to a solo race. It's a lot more teamwork. And in terms of one of the best achievements too is coming 11th in the World Championships last year in Manchester as a pair. And I'm looking to sort of break top 3 with my partner Lewis Holmes, who is an incredible tattoo artist. I think a lot of people who may listen to this podcast will probably know who he is already. He owns a studio called Home Studio, and he's an elite level runner, and he's sort of been training my gym for a while. So we've been competing. We've been sort of dominating the paired Hyrox scene this year. We come second in Glasgow, which was a ball ache, but I recovered from a bulge disc and didn't do no training for about 8 weeks. I'd done 2 weeks of training and then went out there in the pros and we ran 57 minutes. It's probably the best I've ever raced because for one stage in my life, I actually took a step back and worked on some rehab and things that I needed to work on for 6 to 8 weeks, and then went into Glasgow really, really feeling good. Probably didn't feel as fit, but it had no pressure on it, and that probably actually helped me perform better. So I've done that, competed in Hyrox a few times, and I'm loving it.
So you then became a Hyrox affiliate, and how have you integrated Hyrox into the gym?
So being a Hyrox affiliate, obviously winning it, and then seeing the growth of Hyrox, I wanted to jump on being the only affiliate in the area too, to obviously help marketing purposes. But then in terms of being an affiliate, it's been integrated by, we run a 3-day-a-week program. So we run a Monday, Wednesday, Friday sessions, and the 3-day-a-week program will cover the different elements of training that you need to do to help progress your Hyrox. It is probably, I believe, the best Hyrox program that you could possibly do at the moment, and that's not just me being biased. We've had members win Hyroxes, we've had members come seconds, compete in the World Championships last year, the members this year, loads of members, first timers go out there and not just complete their first Hyrox, but actually compete in a Hyrox. When Hyrox is great because it's targeted at so many different people, and it's being able to do a Hyrox, and you can either do it just by completing a Hyrox or competing, and that's how we market it. Is we don't want everyone to compete, but you want to complete it, but also you want to be fit enough that you can enjoy Hyrox. Because the one thing you don't want to be doing is dragging yourself around that Hyrox competition and not enjoying it, because then you're not going to want to go back, try it again, or do that sort of training. So we try and prepare people in the best way possible with our programs and systems to be able to get them to be able to enjoy the competition day as much as the training. So it's important.
How often is Hyrox on the timetable?
So it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like I said. It's 6 till 7, 7 till 8, 8 till 9, 9:15 till 10:15. We are now literally from April the 1st in a amazing position to be able to open all day. So we're going to put lunchtime one on from April the 1st, and then it's run at 5 till 6, 6 till 7, 7 till 8 in the evening.
I don't know of any other gym that has a timetable as big as that just for Hyrox, so that's pretty impressive. So if I sign up as a client to you, do you determine what I do in terms of like, okay, I think you're good for Hyrox, even though you might not know about it, or do you put me always into strength?
Small group PT first.
Okay.
Yeah, so anyone that joins our gym, we make sure they come onto our small group PT, because then we can assess them, we can see the way they move, see what improvements they need. If they're ready to then get through, if they want to go into a Hyrox, then we can make that decision for them to be able to go, right, yeah, you're probably ready, let's get you signed up for a Hyrox competition. Funny enough, my mother, 62 years old, she signed up for her first Hyrox in May. With one of the other members.
Amazing.
So she's never done any strength training before. She's runs 10K every day of her life. But I told her, right, you're getting a bit older now, Mum, you need to finally bite the bullet and come strength train. She started strength training for about 3, 4, 5 months, I think it's been. And then she had this urge to get into Hyrox, and she's seen me compete. She went there and seen a lady, I think she was 68, running around Hyrox, and was like, I can do this. And that motivated her to go, right, how can I get fit to do it, son? And ultimately helped her with that process to be able to get fit, and now she's going to go and compete, and I think she has a very good chance to potentially get on the podium.
Yeah, amazing. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
How do you integrate it to like people that are not very sophisticated when it comes to fitness, that don't even know what Hyrox is? Are you as a brand, as a gym, like just announcing it, like, hey guys, we're all going to this Hyrox? Like, how are you integrating it into the community to someone who's nervous, shy, regards themselves as a beginner to fitness? Yeah,
so obviously we're doing sim days where members can come, and we're doing seminars around Hyrox. So we've been able to do a couple of them now. We are going to be doing more throughout the year, this year. It allows them to come experience, get educated around what Hyrox is and what the competition is. Obviously our marketing is also to the market of people to understand what Hyrox is, and with our demographic, it's not around athletes. So with that, it sort of targets the people. We want to target people that potentially would like to find out a little bit about Hyrox itself. So we market and create creatives to be able to market that and be able to get people to understand what Hyrox is first. Then when people come into the gym, they can do Hyrox sessions themselves. We say they're great for burning calories, getting fit, improving your overall health and fitness, and you don't have to just you don't have to be able to do a Hyrox competition if you want to do Hyrox. You can just do Hyrox because you enjoy the style of training. And that's how we also market it, is it's a style and a way of training that sometimes people just enjoy doing, and they don't want to have that pressure of competing or being able to be on the competition floor and feel like they have to train for a competition. But actually they can use it to help benefit their actual overall health and fitness than just competing itself.
Do you pair people up? Or do you
Yeah,
leave
so
the
there's
community?
3 different programs. Yeah, so 3 different programs. So we have one that is obviously stationed and skill focused, so people developing the skills that you need to be able to complete the Hyrox stations and get better at them. We then have one that is compromised running. We then have one that is paired, so people pair up and get used to working together as a pair, get to feel if paired is for them or not, really. So that's how we program our 3 sessions a week, and then they just change every 8 weeks on the new cycle.
Do you allow drop-ins for Hyrox?
We do, but the price point is very high because we don't want that. We believe in our program, and we believe that we want people to follow what our program is to be able to get better. There's no point jumping in on one session. You're going to get not much out of it. You can trial it if you want to trial it that way. We literally just had a lad, I think it's a PT, he signed a message at our Instagram the other day and was like, hey, I would love to come drop in for a Hyrox session. I want to see what it's about. So I sent the link. He signed up for a drop-in session. I then messaged him after to say, how'd you find that? He was like, I absolutely love that. Would love some more of it. So I sent him a link to sign up to our 30-day trial, and then he signed up to our 30-day trial now. So yeah, it's a way to get people in as well.
What would you say to other gym owners who have done Hyrox, love Hyrox, but have yet to become an affiliate of Hyrox?
So I literally had this conversation with the South African gym owners, the South African Hyrox guys themselves, and they asked me a few questions around this sort of topic. I would say it's definitely worth it. If there's no one in your gym area that is already a Hyrox affiliate, it's definitely worth it. As we know, Hyrox is especially if it's UK based, it's the fastest growing sport in the UK at the moment. I think with over 90,000 competitors last year, and probably we've gone past that mark already, and we're not even, the season's over yet. So with that in mind, there's a massive market for you to be able to market to, and as long as you can get your programming right and done correctly, and it's not just whipped up on a whiteboard, the PT is not walked in that morning and just written out a workout for the day. It's actually thought about, processed, and you're working towards a desired goal and outcome for your members and who you're going to best serve. And then that's what
I've seen that where a gym owner will become an affiliate, they slap the logo across their marketing, they put maybe a banner up, and then they either don't have Hyrox classes, or if they do, it's just something knocked up, and there's no progression, there's no end goal apart from doing a race. You just don't really see what the gym owner is getting from it. The consumers going to that gym are getting from it.
Yeah, and then especially for if you're high end like we are, we're probably the most expensive gym in the area, but that's because we believe in what we do, our programs, our systems, our education, our coaching. We believe it's second to none in the area, especially when you're charging that sort of price point. We also want people to buy into it, so they actually do the sessions as well. And if your people are going to be paying a little bit more, they're going to be more willing to want to turn up, follow the programs, and then they're actually going to be able to see progression in their own training. When you're just throwing up a whiteboard workout or you're doing whatever you want that morning, then they're never going to be able to track progress and see actual growth in their own health, fitness, and then potential progress as they go along that journey of their own health and fitness.
Let's talk about the product on the gym floor. You've mentioned it a few times.
Yeah.
Tell me some of the highlights. Tell me why it's so good, why clients are moved from A to B as quickly as possible to get the desired results they're looking for.
So first and foremost, obviously a program needs to be progressive, and that's definitely what we do. So in our small group PT, I'll go to that side because that is what we specialise in. It's our baby. We follow a functional strength training program, where by means of a functional strength training program, general day-to-day Joe blogs, they need to hinge, they need to squat, they need to carry, they need to press horizontally, they need to pull horizontally, they need to press vertically and pull vertically, and they need to do core and carries. If you can cover that in a week for somebody, then generally their overall health, fitness, and day-to-day life is going to be enhanced, and be able to then go and challenge themselves with everything else that they want to do in their life. And that's generally, again, targeted at our market. Obviously, that's what our programs are designed. It's also designed in a way and progressive over those weeks that we do a 3-day-a-week program. So in those 3 days a week, they'll do squat, they'll hinge, and then they'll do a press. But in the 3 programs, it will cover all of those things that I said. So horizontally pressing, vertically pressing, pulling, a squat, a hinge, a core movement, and then a carry. And then there is some sort of element of a little bit of conditioning, but the conditioning is not just to kill them off at the end of the session. It's programmed as like a sort of blowout at the end of the session that also has burnout sets. So say if the program that day had strict press at the start of the program, at the end of it, you might have 10 push presses followed by 10 push-ups followed by 10 calories on the ski erg. So again, it's focused around that upper body, but then pre-fatiguing that over. And then that again will progress itself over the 8-week program. So those 3 programs work on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They then duplicate Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And we drive to our members to make sure they cover those 3 programs because it's aimed at progressing and helping their overall lifestyle and performance, even if they are someone that wants to compete. Everyone needs to squat. Everyone needs to hinge, everyone needs to carry, do some core, and everyone needs to push and pull. And it just helps have a good carryover to people's everyday life.
Your coaching team that are delivering the programming, the product on the floor, are they contractors? Are they part-time employees, full-time employees? But then how are you leading them? How are you holding them to sort of the higher standard that you hold for yourself?
So they're all full-time, so I probably would never ever employ somebody if they weren't full-time. And we've only been able to do that because of you guys. Definitely been in a position where we can take them on full-time, offer them pension, all the rest of it, holiday pay, sick pay, all of that comes with it. But in terms of them holding the standard that I drive, there are some simple things that I do say to the guys that I have built this business by myself. I've put everything, my life, soul, savings, everything into it. And as long as you can come and match my standards, then we're not going to have a problem. If you're not going to be able to match that, then we're going to then hit a bit of a problem. And in terms of what we drive to do as a facility and the mission of the facility, and that's to become the best coaching facility in the area first and foremost. And I think we're already there. Then we can move from there. And with growth in the facility means growth for you guys. If there's no growth in the facility and there's strings that are not getting pulled, then there's going to be no growth for you guys. I invest in their own CPD. So we've been going on courses, we've done some stuff with the PFCA. I've invested heavily into my own progression recently, more so actually, as a leader. There was actually a leader talk at the recent FMA event, and that really, really opened my eyes up. Because I'm going into this new side of my own owning a gym, for me, it really helped me understand how I'm going to be able to best talk to my employees in a different way, because they all will all listen in a slightly different way. So they're all going to take notes and things off me, and I need to approach them a different way. One way I say to one of them is not going to be the same way I need to say to the other. It's going to be slightly different in the way I need to word things and approach things.
What's your cadence of meetings with the teams and like one-on-one check-ins, reviews?
So we have a Monday team meeting, so a big Monday team meeting that normally is about 3 hours. Fridays at the moment, we're now doing some CPD around the program. So at 8 a.m. on the Friday, we've actually just had to block the session out, which is over the last sort of few weeks, which is I know the members might moan about it a little bit, but I feel that it's only going to help us coach better, sing off the same hymn sheet, and develop us as coaches. Each week on the 8 a.m. session, the head coach will go through some stuff, but each coach will then have something that they want to bring to the table and how they want to relay what they coach, so then we can all learn off each other and hold a higher standard within that facility to be able to then all learn at the same time through CPD and progression. In terms of meetings with the team, I'll have monthly meetings with each coach individually. My head coach is slightly different, as he has a bit more management roles around what he needs to do for the facility and the business in terms of tracking the trialists and all those sorts of stuff. He's now going to eventually go into a little bit of sales. So you've got the sales boot camp in April, I think, which I'm going to just speak to Lucy and I'm going to get him to get on that. He's going to get into sales a little bit more so. So it's more of a weekly meeting as a team meeting, some CPD coaching stuff on Fridays, and then a monthly meeting with each individual staff member that I do have.
So many gyms in this industry, they have staff, but when you sort of peel the onion, pull back the covers, the staff, they might wear the uniform, but they're really just contractors that are working a few hours in that gym and then a few hours on the side doing something else to make up their income. What made you make the decision to have full-time team members? Did you ever have contractors or part-time?
So yeah, never ever had anyone that's contracted or part-time or anything in my facility. I don't think I ever would, and I'd strongly probably advise other gyms to not have that. But in terms of me wanting them to go full-time and paying way more than the general salary for any PT in the area, it's because they're going to buy into our philosophy, our vision, and they're ultimately going to get invested in, and that's what I will obviously tell them when they're applying for the job and advertise the job. I should say they're going to get more for it, and from it they haven't got to chase clients, they haven't got to market, they haven't got to do any of that stuff. They're walking home with a very good salary at the end of the month, and they're being a part of a mission and something that we see taken off really, and is taken off. So they're buying in. They can buy into what our mission is and what we're going to do.
We'll come down to your facility to get some footage and so on. But can you just verbally just talk through? I walk through the door.
Yep.
How does it look? What's the flow of the equipment, the area, is there changing rooms, everything like that?
Yeah, so as you walk through the front door, there's some stairs out to the right that go up to our punch room, our sports therapist room, which I have got a sports therapist as well on site, staff office, men's changing room and showers. Then as you come through, turn to the right, you then get into our sort of community sort of reception area that has sort of sofa, some tables. We have a coffee machine that's sponsored. We're sponsored by one of the local coffee shops. So they sponsor the coffee machine, they sponsor the coffee beans. And then our reception desk is just there. Then we have a nice sort of glass entrance that when I moved into this new facility, I didn't want to just block off the entrance and you can't really see into how beautiful the gym is. I think aesthetically, my gym is probably one of the best in the Midlands aesthetically, probably going into the UK if you had to look at it from the outside, and you probably will come down and see that. As you walk through, there's like a nice glass doors. You walk through the glass doors, you're into our open gym space. To the right is the female changing rooms and showers. Then we have our staff only and consultation room, where we've now been able to invest into medically graded in-body machine, which now we've been able to pop that in there as well, so people get in-body tests. Then as you walk through, you then come out the where the roof is underneath our sort of open gym space, come out into the master space of the gym. It's then split into two sections, so we have a massive rig across this on the left-hand side with 4 bays, a massive rig along the right-hand side with 4 bays for the 2 different SGPT slots, and then through the middle is all the dumbbells, kettlebells, slam balls, boxes, bumper plates. Then as you walk through and you walk round to the right of the facility, then that's where we have like a sled track, 2 sled tracks. We have, again, a matted area that then has our hustle and Hyrox classes, so our large group stuff. And then when we just have the one side of SGPT, then they get to use the whole side of the right-hand side of the gym.
You were in existing premises before. Did you just bolt on this extra space, or did you actually physically move to a new unit?
Yeah, so there's 2 sides of the river in Worcester, which were in St John's, and we actually moved from St John's to the other side, which was a bit of a risk, and I didn't know if it was going to pay off, actually, because you're moving from one area to another area, and you're not too sure if people are going to travel, especially with coming across the river, rush hour, all that sort of stuff. But I think we had 2 people leave to see it, and that just showed me that how much people believe in what we're doing and how good our product is.
So the new unit, which is 4,000 square foot, what did it used to be?
So it's funny enough, it used to be a gym beforehand. So yeah, if I just go back to, it was quite a cool little process and journey of me being able to expand into the new facility. I was going to move into a different unit over the other side of the river. All happy as Larry, literally about to move through. Had a survey on it, a surveyor look at it, and there was a leak, a massive damp wall that would have probably caused some serious problems. And the small print of the contract there was I was having to pay for that myself, and it would have been thousands and thousands of pounds, and I wasn't going to invest in someone else's unit. So it all fell through. I was gutted. I was like, oh God, I'm never going to be able to expand. I'm in this position where we're breaking at the seams. I need to move. Then I reached out a month or 2 before to a gym that I seen deleted their Instagram, deleted their Facebook, deleted everything. I was like, what's going on here? So I reached out to him. Mike, his name was, a lovely guy. He actually congratulated me in opening my first facility. So we had that little bond and that little relationship before, so I thought I could reach out to him. I said, hey Mike, I've seen this has gone on. What's going on with your unit? And he said, oh, we're going through a rebrand. So I was like, I was like, okay, cool, that's fine. And that's when I went to this other place and sort of like got the ball rolling, but then hit that hurdle. Then I thought I'd reach out again, and then he said, we're actually closing on the 1st of October. And I said, wow, could I come have a look? Could I speak to the owner? And this was 2 weeks before the 1st of October. So I had 2 weeks to turn everything over in terms of put our stamp on the facility, make it how I wanted to look, get the workers booked in to make the glass frontage, update sort of like showers, changing rooms, and do the open gym space, punch room, move all our equipment across in 2 weeks, let the members know that this is happening. But it was actually probably the best way for it to happen for us, because there was no choice other than we got 2 weeks to move this ship from here to here. We moved the ship. We have an unlimited abundance of parking. Before we had no parking, so that was a massive win for us. And yeah, we're now in this facility that's 4,000 square foot. So.
And it's been positive, and everyone's happy.
Yeah, everyone's happy. We've grown, invested more into more equipment, brought more facility, more sessions, more coaches. In-house physiotherapist, and yeah.
Let's talk about investment and equipment. Is there one equipment supplier that you went with, or is it a couple?
Yeah, so I use Wolverson. They've been so good to me, and I'm actually currently again looking to invest in the new Nexus rigs, I think it is, with cable machines on, so we can get rid of the rig on the right-hand side, move that to the left-hand side. It's got rings and stuff on, the other one hasn't. Get rid of that one. The middle centre storage, put all the Nexus rigs in the middle with the cables, so we can have SGPT back-to-back and have a bigger section for Hustle and Hyrox down the side. And then we can invest more into some more salt runners. So at the moment, I want to buy more salt runners, but as you know, they're pretty big and hefty pieces of equipment, so they take up a lot of space. So until we can free up that space, and that's something that we're looking to do mid to end of summer.
Did you take on any funding or loans to make the move?
No, I've never ever taken anything. To get my first gym, I sold my car. I had an ISA. It was at lockdown. I had a friend tell me this unit's become free in the middle of a garage, and I was like, do I do it? Do I not? What do I do? Sold a nice car that I had as a young kid. As you do, you get a finance car and you think you're cool as Larry. Got rid of that after paying it off, sold it. Then my ISA, I put all of that savings, 25 grand into it, bang, and then growing that facility, then save. Got into the position where I then could invest. And throughout the whole year, if there's pictures that would be cool to could give to you guys to pop up on the screen, people would see what equipment we had from day one to then potentially 6 months in that facility, to then 12 months in that facility, to then 2 years in that facility, to now into the facility that we're in now. And we've still, since moving in 6 months ago, I've invested more into it in 6 months that I probably have in facility number one. And we continue to do so. And I continue to have plans in 2024 to do so and do exactly just that. We've got some really big plans for that, and I'm really excited to bring what we've got planned to the table.
Let's talk about your sales process.
Yeah.
What is it currently? What did you used to do? What's working right now?
So what we used to do is we started with low buy-in point. So we had a 30-day trial, £69, and I was running everything. So I believe in the way I coach. I believe that I'm a very, very good coach without being too big-headed. But yeah, I believe I'm a very good coach. So the sales process after from 30-day trial to membership was quite easy. I think I was at 95% conversion rate. So from when they were doing a 30-day trial to a higher end price point, it was 95% back then. Then I was like, it's not working. I've got a coaching. It's not really working. Obviously, there is a little bit of a difference in how we had to change things. So we then a bit more higher price point on front end offer on 30-day trial. Then the 30-day trial started to die off, and I was like, it's not working here. 30-day trial, assessing things a little bit. Then we moved into a 6-week offer, so like a 6-week shred it was called back then. So we're doing a 6-week shred. That was a bit more higher price points, a little bit more that came with it. And then moved into membership after that. And then we came to you guys. So after me doing all of it myself, and I think I grew to 8,500 before I came to you guys. And then I was like, maximise that facility. I was like, where do I go? I could probably have maximised it even more if I came to you before. I could probably have done a lot better. But hey, it is what it is. And now we're in this position. I came to you guys, and then I've been doing a 6-week offering. It's again a 6-week challenge that people come in on. They get 3 small group personal training sessions a week, better value than what they would pay in the local area for one-to-one PT. We then also do unlimited large group sessions. They can top up our Hustle, Hyrox, Punch sessions. They get a check-in on week 1, a nutrition plan on week 1, check-in at week 3, and then a check-in at week 6 to ultimately sell them into a membership after that. It is of a much higher price point than what I've ever thought I'd be able to charge, but I actually believe in what we do within that 6 weeks, and that people are going to see results. They're going to see habits improve. They're going to see a better off result in 6 weeks at our facility than they are anywhere else. Then they are more likely to, again, buy in. And again, I think it's 86% conversion rate from 6 weeks, and then our retention rate is at about 92. So in terms of what we deliver, it's going really well. I'm very, very proud of my team. I'm very, very happy with my team at the moment and how hard they do work for me. And I couldn't ask for much more. There's those little issues being a business owner and things that you want done better. But hey, remember, it's my bread and butter. Someone's never going to give the 120% that I give. But as long as I say to them, you can give 95, then I'm happy.
So a lead comes in, maybe a referral, website hit, might be a walk-in, a meta ad.
Yeah.
What's the process? Who gets notified? Who's doing the sales at the moment? And what sort of sales process system steps are you following to convert that person into a trial? Into
a trialist. So obviously it comes to when we're doing meta. We're not broken into Google just yet. We are going to look to do Google. But we're doing meta. We're doing, obviously, our socials at the moment is where a lot comes through organically as well. So we get a lot of organic. We get a lot of leads through you guys, loads of leads through you guys. And then we also have foot traffic. We have had foot traffic more in this new gym than we did in our old gym. I think just because there's now parking, it's easier to find us. It's a lot better. But yeah, so in terms of how that process works, I deal with the sales process through you guys, through all the leads. So call in after they've filled in their information. I'll give them a call and then I'll sell to them a phone. They then buy on the phone. Then put them in for a roadmap there and then, which is we call this 1 week check-in with any one of the coaches. And sometimes I'll do them myself if needs be in my diary, and I'll fit that in. So then they'll meet the coach at reception. And it's a pretty similar process to somebody walking through the door. Again, we'll sell them the 6 week. So we do have, if someone walks in, we do have a 30-day offering on a leaflet in the front door, just because sometimes it's a little bit easier to sell a 30-day offering to somebody when they're walking through the front door than it is to sell a big 6 week program. That's how I've felt in terms of my KPIs, and I've checked my KPIs and what we've done. But in terms of if someone to contact us through Instagram, again, they're sent the 6 week link from you guys. They will then fill in the information, or I'll just book them in for a call there and then on the Instagram chat or Facebook chat or whatever it is. I say, look, let's book a call maybe for tomorrow. Are you free to jump on a call now? Get on a call and then sell to them again the 6 week challenge. And they come through that process. They get all the offerings of what the 6 week is. Then they move into a membership post that.
What price point currently, and do you get any objections?
So we do get objections. Yeah, I think you will always get objections, but 119 to 197. We have just literally this morning sent out price increase to all of our old existing members. So after this, I'm probably going to have 1,000,001 emails to get back to, but it is what I think I don't think it's going to be a problem.
How much have you bumped it?
£25, so £6 a week. Which I feel it didn't happen even in moving it. We didn't increase it moving into the new facility, and I invested heavily into it. I've gave them a chance for 6 months to be able to test the facility out, see what it is like, see what we do, look at the growth of what we've done in just 6 months, and obviously now it's time to increase that price point.
Let's go back to the objections.
Yeah.
When you're on the phone speaking to people, what sort of
the sales or
sales to new clients into the trial.
Yeah.
So how are you handling those? What's your advice?
So sales, it's that brick wall. They're putting up a road barrier. They're putting up a barrier in front that you just need to. They want to buy. They're not going to register their information. They're there. They're warm. They want to buy. They give you the information you need to be able to sell to them. So they just put up barriers because they're either anxious, they're a bit scared coming into a new facility, and they've never paid, or they compare you to the pure gyms.
They're not paid premium.
They compare you to the David Lloyds. They compare you to the local CrossFit box, where your offering is completely different to what they will ever experience in their entire life. So you just need to be able to word it in a way that they're going to be able to understand that what you're going to be giving them is different to what any other gym is going to be different. When you're able to do that and you're able to break through those objections and you just find another way around that road block, you're then able to just, again, break down those barriers. It's very important to obviously, again, listen to what they're saying on the phone, and then you can sort of bite into what they're saying and sort of use those pain points a little bit more so to be able to sell to them and really tell them how you're going to help them benefit and improve their life, improve their relationship at home, if that's something that they're looking to do as their why. Empower themselves, be ready for the kids to run around the playground as they grow up, take them to football, be able to play at the park with them for the dads or the moms, and to be able to walk with that spring in their step again, really, and be able to have that chest proud. And it's just about trying to relay that message to them that is what your objective is. That's what you're going to do for them. And that is how investing in you is so important, and you need to just try and get that message across to them when they give you those objectives. I think also the other thing to that is when it comes to that journey of health and fitness, I think it's more and more so out there nowadays that people need to invest in their health and fitness because of how important it is and how it benefits them in every other area of their life.
Let's talk finances. How often are you reviewing your finances of the business and checking in with your accountant or bookkeeper? Like, what's the process system you have in place?
So, literally this morning, updating my finances, sat in the coffee shop. So I do it monthly. So obviously I have my coach who updates the trial list sheet. We check it. My head coach, we check in on KPIs around that. And where people are on everything like that. Then in terms of my own finances and how I'm able to sort of work with that. So again, monthly meeting with my accountant. I then monthly update all of our sort of spends, all of our money in, sort of average yield per customer, average yield per customer, potentially what memberships are doing the best, what memberships aren't doing the best. And then in terms of managing the finances, in terms of pay and things like that, reviewing pays, I do that all the time. I'm actually just going through a pay rise at the moment for the team. I believe they deserve it, and so that's where I'm at the moment with sort of reviewing sort of finances for myself.
It's clear to see you're super passionate about your business and fitness. How did you get into the industry?
So as a young kid, I've always been very, very sporty and into sport. I've excelled in any sort of practical sport that I put myself to, in terms of captain for most school teams, county football, rugby, obviously a background, born in South Africa and coming here. Rugby's a big passion of mine, and I was pretty good at that. I wouldn't say I was the greatest, but then I always had, I would say always a ADHD, hyper, sort of energetic dad. One day driving through Worcester, we moved to England as a young kid, 9 years old, I think I was, drove past the boxing club, Worcester Amateur Boxing Club. Big shout out to them. I saw it, he saw it, and he was like, right, call the guy, and you couldn't start until you're 11. And my dad was like, I'm going to have this kid for another 2 years before I can exert some of his energy somewhere else. So yeah, we went into the boxing club at 11 years old. I laced up my first pair of boxing gloves and never looked back. I then boxed for 8 years of my life, boxing for England, ranked number 2 in England, won 6 Midland titles, had 54 fights, won 38 of them. So boxing was a big passion of mine, and my dad is somebody that I really do look up to in terms of making me the person I am today, in terms of how much he drove me. And if you have a dad like my dad, then you're gonna be driven, and you're gonna have the 3 Ds: determined, dedication, and discipline. And it's something that he drove into me. Days at school when I would have to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning to go for a run before school, and I didn't want to, he would open the door. He'd get me out there, cold, wet, snow, Christmas Day, out running, ready for the championships coming up. I was instilled discipline into me at a young age. So many would say it was probably quite harsh as a young kid in the way I was brought up, but I was brought up with a different culture, obviously coming from South Africa itself. I was brought up slightly different. So I was always reminded that to be very grateful for what I have and what we do have in obviously a first world country, and going back there just reminds me to stay humble as well. But then obviously throughout my boxing years, it taught me so much. It taught me a lot about myself as well as and what I can actually achieve and what is possible. So that drove me into the health and fitness world. I then, at 17, 18, and this sort of added towards me stopping boxing. I then done a personal trainer apprenticeship. So it was working early mornings, late nights. I was not being able to get to the boxing gym. Pretty open and honest until talking about sort of females coming to the equation at that age, drinking. You do other things at that age, and you test out things that you probably shouldn't do. And then my dad sat me down one day and was like, right, son, look, if you're not going to give 110% into this, you're boxing for England, you're nearly breaking through into the GB squad. I want to pull you out. You can't do this, and you can't do one thing and the other thing. You've got to be all this or nothing. So we decided to come away from it. I regret it to this day because I probably could have turned professional. I had a few offerings to turn professional, but I didn't. But I would never be here in this position if I didn't do what I did. So I then went to PT apprenticeship, done that. And then from there, 10 years in the industry now, 28 years old. I now own a gym nearly for 3 years.
And you're just coaching in that time?
Coaching.
Classes or one-on-one or mixed?
So, yeah. So I started doing sort of like the general spinning classes, mic on, screaming and shouting, let's go guys, all that sort of stuff. Legs, bums and tums, cleaning the gym floor, doing all the rubbish jobs that you do as an apprentice. But that really shaped me to be the coach I am today and the business owner, that whole journey and process that I am today, and how I hold myself as well. I'd say definitely it was MSJ Sports and Fitness, that place there when I was a coach there. It really shaped me as a coach. It made me experience working with such a different demographic, working in a sports centre, doing all body pump and all these Les Mills classes, and it helped me sort of transition my coaching style into small group PT and coaching. And obviously along that journey I've done S&C courses, strength and conditioning courses. People that don't know what that is, I then subsequently courses through the PFCA. But post MSJ I actually opened up a small facility, a small studio called Prime Fitness with a friend of mine who I worked at MSJ with, and it was out in Bromsborough. It was in the middle of nowhere. I'm from Worcester, so it was about 25 miles away. It's not many people will know of this, but again, maybe get a photo up of the little facility that we opened. It wasn't working for me, and I think he's still got it now, but I pulled away from it. And I was like, look, it's a bit of a drive for me. It's not working. I've got loads of friends and people in Worcester that want to come and train me, but they just can't come out here. I think I was 21 at the time, so I came away from that. Then went and worked for another gym at the time that done small group PT. So in Worcester, this was. Well, actually, no, that's a lie, because I went and done a boot camp gym first for 3 weeks. I then got headhunted by this guy who owned a small group PT facility. I then went and worked in that facility for 18 months, realised that that facility was not for me. I then walked away from the facility and then went and started my own one-to-one PT out of a gym and hired 2 different spaces. So I hired a boxing place because that was my background and a lot of people wanted to come to be one-to-one boxing, and then I hired a space in a CrossFit gym at the time and just done some one-to-one PT. I grew and grew and grew, and then bang, lockdown hit, and I was like, no, what do I do here? Everything went online, and me, I'm a people person. I get energy off people. I want to work with people face to face. And doing it behind a computer screen, I was like, this is not really for me. I need this to hurry up and get gone because I want to get back, seeing my clients, building those relationships. And I have clients from MSJ, a 17-year-old, that are still with me in my gym today. So that's nearly 10 years.
They followed you around.
I say to them, bloody hell, I can't get rid of you, can I? I'm going around different gyms, working for different gyms, and they're joining all the gyms that I'm working in, and they're following me.
And now in your business.
And now in my business. Yeah. And I'm so grateful for those guys because I'm very close to them, and I do speak to them a lot about different things.
Obviously, your passion for boxing is now installed in the current business. What's the uptake of that with members? Are some of them coming in, have done it before, or and what's the actual class? It's not full contact, right? Or...
No, yeah. So it's something that I didn't want to do. So when doing boxing in my facility, I didn't want people to see it as a fighting class because then it would attract the wrong demographic, and who we definitely don't want in my facility. So in terms of the sessions itself, it's sort of learn to box and a little bit, I don't like to say it, but box fitness. So it's that merged together where they learn the different techniques of boxing, but they also do a bit of fitness stuff at the same time. And I advertise it and say to people, if you're a business owner, someone who's very, very busy, needs to de-stress, want to feel fitter, do something different throughout the week and have different sessions to look forward to. That's fun, that's challenging, it's engaging, it improves your hand-eye coordination, it improves your skills, and it's ultimately something that's fun and different and de-stresses you. So it's something that is ultimately going to help your overall life, because we have our sort of motto of the gym is building bodies, helping minds, and changing lives. And the boxing comes in the perfect position for that one.
With the business that you've built and your career in the fitness industry, what are some of the mistakes that you've made that others can avoid?
Ooh, okay, yeah. The mistakes that I've made, ultimately, just remember where you started, remember where you come from. Something I get reminded, going back to South Africa, it's what I get reminded of a lot. I have family that struggle, that, yeah, I could not tell you what positions they're in, but ultimately open my eyes up to what I've got, and it always grounds me.
Go back to that first part. Is that because sometimes as a business owner, you can get wrapped up in your own space, your own world, and sometimes you forget how, where you've come from, and, to help other people, and it's not...
I think also, yeah, I think if you want to talk about that, then it's also like just don't forget the reasons why you're doing this. And that's the most important thing to remember, is the key driver as to why you are doing this.
Because it could just be people. business, money, all this growth, but the key factor for most people that enter this industry is changing people's lives.
Yeah, so the key factor for me is again, that building bodies, helping minds, changing lives. And that's my reason why I do what I do day in, day out. And it's just, sometimes I have to remind myself of that as I do. And it's in my gym, it's on a big, massive mural on the wall, something that you can never miss when you walk into my gym. And that was the beauty of having the glass doors when you walk in. So it's definitely something that I would tell people, to never forget the reasons why you started what you're doing, as it's ultimately going to massively help you remember why you're doing it, and all the hard work that you're putting into it is to ultimately help people's lives. And that is why we do what we do. And ultimately, being a business owner, it comes with the chasing the numbers, watching the numbers, running the business, doing all those sorts of things. But yeah, I would say biggest mistake is to never forget the reason why.
So the business had big growth in a short space of time. What is next?
The next step, the first and foremost step is I'm going into a slightly different avenue, where I'm actually going into it with my head coach and a very good friend of mine that I went to school with, that we're going into a recovery and wellness hub. So ice baths, saunas, Theraguns, boots, red light therapy, and a stretch zone. It's actually in the gatehouse of our current unit. So that in the industrial state, there's a little gatehouse building that's become available, and we're going to open that middle of May. We've had a few issues with insurance purposes, as you always hear issues opening a business, and other little things, but we've currently got the all clear yesterday. That now we can start getting the work done and getting it started. So that's the next step in terms of growth of business for me. And then the other thing is, early March next year, one of the members of the gym is building some purpose-built units in Malvern. We've talked about it with a friend of his, and someone that I used to coach back in MSJ days. I've had a meeting with him already. So again, when I was a 17, 18-year-old PT apprentice, they're building some purpose-built units and like a gym put in there. So I said, well, I'm the guy for you to talk to. So we're looking at facilities number 2 out in Malvern. So that is the growth in 2025, but the blueprint is to be finalised this year in the new 4,000 square foot gym. Make sure the systems are in place. It's something that I've driven to the team, this is the year that we get everything in place, the systems correct, what we do, our training product, our coaching needs to be on point. We need to get the blueprint. So then if this is to happen in 2025, early on next year, we can then go over there. And again, the reason why is help more people.
What would you say to someone who's maybe in your position 3-4 years ago? They're coaching, they love the industry, but they're sort of maybe scared or fearful of taking that leap and becoming a gym owner. Why should they do it?
Why should they do it? If you have a passion for helping people, then you should definitely do it. The other reason why you should do it is risks in life come with reward if you're willing to put the hard work in. So if you're wanting to take that risk and to help more people, there will be rewards along that way, but be willing for some hard work along that journey.
It's been awesome having you, Trent, on the FMA podcast. Where can people find you on Insta? What's the business website, business Insta?
So my personal Instagram is just Trent Smith Coaching, and then the business gym Instagram is TSC Centre, and then if you want to find our website, it's just www.tsc-centre.com.
Awesome. It's been great to see your journey so far. Can't wait to see what happens in the future. Appreciate you coming down, Trent.
Thank you very much for having me. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the Fitness Marketing Agency podcast. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe so you can catch future episodes.